Imagine one day you're having your morning coffee, you're reading the paper, and in the paper there's an interesting article about a recent study done in Iceland on green tea. 2,000 participants report that they experienced rejuvenation and many health benefits just by drinking 2 cups of green tea a day. Pretty interesting. You read the article, flip the page, forget all about it. But then, 2 days later, as you're buying groceries, all of a sudden you find yourself in the tea aisle, picking up 2 boxes of green tea. Even though there was no ad in the piece, it was not a marketing piece. And yet, you suddenly feel compelled. It happens a lot, and it happens to all of us. Do you ever wonder why it works and how it works, and how you can use it to influence your prospects and your clients the same way? It's called the connector formula, and it contains a magical ingredient called IDT. In this chapter, I will teach you one of the most powerful persuasion techniques you can use right away to get more leads and turn the leads you already have into listings or sales faster. It works in print, email, on the web, and especially in personal communication. You can even use it to overcome tough objections. It's called the connector formula. Easy to learn, easy to deploy, and deadly effective. The connector formula is based on Dr. Cialdini's principle of social proof. People will use actions of others to decide on proper behavior, especially if they view those others as similar. The connector formula consists of 4 easy steps: acknowledge, introduce, link, and solve. Here is how it works. First, you acknowledge your client's situation. I understand where you are. I understand how you feel. Now, of course, this has to be genuine. This has to be with real compassion. Then you introduce other people who are or were in the similar situation. And you connect them to your client through a similarity link. Now, what is similarity link? This could be the fact that they live in the same neighborhood, own a similar house, they were an expired listing, needed a good agent, whatever. Remember, the social proof principle states that people use actions of others to decide, especially if they view those others as similar. And the final step of the connector formula, you show what solution worked for the other folks and how it benefited them. This page is from the Expired Plus resume. You've seen it before. We've discussed it in one of the previous videos. In it, if you remember, I tell the story about my clients, the Gallons, using the connector formula. In the story, I talk about their hopes, their dreams, and their frustration with their first agent. There are 4 factors that make the connector formula work on this page. Number 1, this is not generic fluff about some imaginary client, but a very specific story about an actual family. Throughout the story, I talk about specific details. I mention my clients' names, the name and age of their daughter, where they lived, and where they wanted to move. Carla grew up in Boulder, and they wanted to leave California and move back there. So the story has plenty of details. The third important element is emotions. I talk about their frustration and their disappointment with their original agents. Both the emotions and the fact that their listing had expired works as a similarity link. I seal the deal with more credibility, details of course, but also a couple of actual quotes from Carla, plus 2 specific pictures, one of the Happy Gallons and one of their property I sold. So that's the connector formula in action. There is another element that makes it work well: IDT. See, there are basically 2 types of marketing: explicit and implicit. A simple example of explicit marketing would be List with Joe. Okay, not that powerful? All right. What if I added a couple more exclamation points? There. Yeah? Better? No? I know, I'm kidding. It's just kind of bland, right? It doesn't have any pull, even though thousands and thousands of old-fashioned agents keep using it. A much more effective way, like the one you just saw on the resume page, is to influence your audience with IDT. IDT stands for Implicit Decision Triggers. The connector formula works even if you don't directly tell your audience that if they do business with you, they will get the same result. Your client mind fills in the blanks automatically. It all happens in their mind, and they arrive to the implied conclusion on their own. The seller reading the Gallon story is thinking, they were frustrated, I'm frustrated. Their house didn't sell, my house didn't sell. They were in the same situation, they're just like me. And now their house is sold and they're enjoying their dream. Maybe I should call that agent. Here's the secret to human psychology. Our own conclusions have more power, the power of self-persuasion. From a psychological standpoint, a conclusion your audience comes to on their own based on the implied message has the power of natural conviction. Another example of a connector formula with implicit decision trigger is a list of homes sold. Again, you've seen this one. The connector here is the location. They are all in the same geographical area, same general area. Plus, 8 satisfied sellers in just a few weeks. It's a lot more powerful than saying, become one of my satisfied clients. The client's inner dialogue is, they sold in my neighborhood, I want to sell as well. They're satisfied, I will be satisfied when I call this agent. Notice that these sales could be mine or just my company. If you're just a new agent, it works just as well. Whether it's green tea or real estate, the process is the same. Let me show you how you can use the connector formula when talking with a client on the phone or in person. Again, same principle. So let's say the seller says, I'm just very disappointed that the house didn't sell. And you reply, I know, it can be very frustrating and disappointing. I work with many sellers like you who tried to sell and things just didn't work out. They all feel the same way. That's normal. What I found is that after a while, many just shake it off because their dream is important to them, and then we put the property up for sale, like the Gallons not far from me over on Maple Street. Things didn't work out the first time, and it was very frustrating because they wasted months and months with their previous agent. But I came in, we listed the house, and it sold in 8 weeks. Now they're in Colorado, enjoying a great new house. And the seller's reaction is, well, how much time do you think it would take to sell this house? Notice all 4 steps of the connector are here. Acknowledge, introduce, link, and solve. You can use the same connector formula with first-time buyers when they get nervous, expired listings who are hesitant to relist, for sale by owners, long-time homeowners who have lived in the property for a long time and they have a little hard time letting go. Short sale sellers, this method works with almost, if not all type of clients you have. Here's an easy way to remember the connector formula. I know how you feel. Many of other clients felt the same way. Here's what I found worked for them. Now all you have to remember is feel, felt, found, or just FFF. I know how you feel. Many of my clients felt the same way. Here's what I found works. That's the beauty of the connector formula. Easy to learn, easy to implement, and highly effective. Start using it and watch what happens. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna get my cup of green tea.